Gang, welcome back. Currently, mid cardio at the moment, which is realistically just getting steps. Anyway, rest day today, full day of eating, and there'll likely obviously be some other yaps in between. But straight up off the bat, as you saw in the morning, did some posing. Try and do this a few days a week. I've been pretty slack with it in previous off seasons. To be fair, I was fat and didn't like how I looked. I say that. I wasn't actually fat. You know, I'm just talking shit, but you know what I mean. But I'm still relatively lean. So posing is still not only like good to continue doing, and I will do so anyway, but the look's like not skewed. Like I can pose how I would. It will translate to stage because I'm like, you know, when you're like kind of too fat to pose properly because you don't really know how it's going to look. And as you get leaner, certain things look better. I'm still in that range, so posing is still, it's always beneficial, but it's definitely beneficial at the moment. I will also come down and do the usual. If you watched the last video, you know I chatted about the stitch up and me not being able to come on the treadmill, but that is where I currently am. So usually on the treadmill, on a regular training day, I will use it as a little bit of, obviously it's the steps and it's cardio, but I'll actually do, like I'll be putting the incline up to 5. The speed will be at 5.5 to 5.7 kilometers an hour. And I'll actually get a little bit of heart rate up. You know, I'll be breathing reasonably heavy. So I am actually getting some form of cardiovascular work, even if it's only in that like 110 to 120 heartbeat range. But on a rest day, that's out the window. I don't do that on a rest day. I'm actually trying to talk, it's running me out of breath a little bit. My weight's gone up the last couple of days, so I'm feeling it. But the incline's at 3%. And the speed's at 4.5 kilometers. So the reason I do that is on a rest day, I am trying to cause the least amount of stress on my body whatsoever. And that'll be like one of the main tips I give you today is like, one thing I've found very recently, obviously there's specific phases where you're gonna have to do a little bit more in a rest day, like in a fat loss or a prep. But particularly for me at the moment, I will do the bare minimum. So I will do exactly what I need to do for, you know, my daily tasks. So I'll get my steps done, I'll do my work, and that is basically, apart from that, it is horizontal for the rest of the day. But anyway, I'm going to finish walking on the treadie. I'm then also going to take you through meal 1, obviously, which is a little bit different today. Yeah, I'll see you for that. Alrighty boys, spread of the gods has arrived, meal 1. So this meal 1 is, on a rest day, is sourdough and salmon. We usually have this at home. However, I am lucky enough that in Bangkok there is a cafe, restaurant, I don't know what you would call it, called Bartels, where you can order basically breakfast food, individual ingredients, that are already weighed out. Now I will weigh these regardless, so I brought my scales, but basically we have 150 grams of sourdough, 2 slices, I'm going to shake it a little bit here. I have 2 eggs, figs, jalapenos, usually it's beetroot, but I've got pickled onion instead today, and then we have 100 grams of salmon. So I'll give you a quick look. We have 1 slice of sourdough, all the goodies. Now they serve these scrambled eggs with the sourdough, like you order sourdough and that comes with it. Unfortunately, I will not be eating this because it looks like it is chock full of some oily goodness. And I might even ask what's in it, to be honest, because if it is just whole egg and they can tell me the amount of eggs, I could eat it. But today, not going to be the case. I've also got an Americano. No almond milk today. I'm saving the almond milk simply because 7-Eleven didn't have it. So I'm just gonna have another coffee at like 12 p.m. with my next meal. And I've also got lettuce as well from this, but I'm gonna assemble this bad boy. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mash up the figs, right? So I mash up the figs, I make a jam, glorious. I will then top that with the egg and I'll sort of mash that as well. So it's like scrambled. I will then put the lettuce down, then the salmon, and then the balsamic vinegar, and that'll be that, I think. Oh sorry, pickled onion as well. Oh, they got lemon too, fuck me. Ooh. I'm just going to show you the finished product. finally constructed this fucker. So I will put this bad boy on here in a moment, and I'll give you a taste test. Cutting this is going to be a fucking nightmare because they haven't toasted the sourdough, and if you know, you know, sourdough crust is a nightmare to put together, to cut. But yeah, this is going to be the meal. I fucked up. I only ordered 50 grams of salmon, and I only ordered 1 egg. So I'm going to have to top that up somewhere else throughout the day. I might just have another egg and some more salmon. But yeah, I'll show you this once it's cut. I'll give you a taste test, give you the cross section. Man, you can't tell me this doesn't look bussin' though. And it's so convenient that I don't have to cook it. I'm telling you boys, try this, honestly, try this at home. Figs. You mash up figs and it's like literally just like jam. It's absolutely insane. I'm gonna enjoy the fuck out of this, but that's meal 1, rest day. Fellas, we are back with meal number 2, the glorious pre-workout meal, which is obviously not pre-workout because I'm not training today, but exact same meal as what you would have seen if you watched the training day video. We have cream of rice, cherries, strawberries, and cacao nibs. The only difference, and this is the exact same for every other meal of the day, is the amount of carbohydrates versus the amount of fats is slightly different. So this meal is now like slightly more fats and less carbohydrates. So instead of 140 grams of cream of rice, it's 110 grams of cream of rice. Instead of like 7 grams of cacao, it is 10 grams, but the strawberries and the cherries stay the same. Man, if you boys aren't on cherries yet, get your shit on cherries. They are fucking glorious. As I said, the rest of the meals today is the exact same as the previous video's meals, just slightly different amounts of different macronutrients. Or different ingredients to change macronutrient profile. Slightly higher fats on a rest day, slightly lower carbohydrate. And obviously I do not have the intra-workout carbohydrates going in. Now this meal is going in slightly later, about 30 minutes later than I would have liked. On a rest day, I'll usually have second meal at around 12 o'clock. The reason I'm a little bit later is because obviously I had my first work block, and then I had a onboarding call or a consult call, competitive natural client coming on board, which is super exciting. But the consult call just ended up going a little bit longer than I thought it would. So it has pushed this meal back, but new client on board, super excited. Again, still taking on board clients. So if you're keen to jump on board or jump on a call and find out what it's all about, hit the link in the bio or send me a message on Instagram for coaching. But yeah, meal 2 going down. This is around about 110 carb. I'll have it on the screen, but it's 110 carb, 10-ish fat, 10-15 fat, and 60 protein. Cream of rice is cold as always, because if you like, hot cream of rice is okay, but cold cream of rice is just like a fucking cake, bro. It's elite. Nice little fucking chomp there. Holy fuck. The extra cacao goes a long way. A long way. That bite tasted like a dessert, straight up. Strawberry and cherry combo, unbelievable. Now, another tip for you guys is chewing your motherfucking food and enjoying it and taking your time with it. Whether you're in a dieting phase or a growth phase, it works either way. Digestion starts in the nose and with the eyes and the mouth. So visualizing the food, smelling the food, you'll know when you smell good food, you start salivating. That's where digestion starts. Now, the next thing is using a smaller spoon or consciously taking smaller mouthfuls and actually chewing your food. 1, better digestion. 2, if you're starving hungry, it'll make the meal last longer and you actually get to be like present for it. Not just sitting on your phone and fucking wasting your life away. I honestly try and opt against watching anything when I eat. I'm not doing that right now. I'm watching a podcast. But just like being present with the meal is a very important part of the digestion process. And you just again, in a fat loss phase, not being starving hungry and you know, all of a sudden inhaling the meal and then waking up and it's like gone. And then the off season, where I'm at currently eating a decent amount of food, is making sure that it's like, basically what you want to think of is like you have bacteria in your stomach, right? And you've got stomach acid that breaks down the food. The more surface area that stomach acid can get to, the better off the digestion will be. So the more you chew your food, the more slop basically that your food is, the better it will digest. And that goes for every meal. Now, obviously cream of rice is already basically slop, so that's going to digest and does digest very well. But the things like strawberries, the cacao, because it's like little crispy nibs, the cherries, or in other meals like chicken, rice, potato, if you're just swallowing a whole fucking chunk of food, it is so much harder for your body to digest and your stomach to break down. So the more chewing that you can do, the better off your digestion will be, the better off your hunger signaling will be, the more satiating the meal will be. It's just all round a better way to go. And it's good practice to just be mindful with your food. Again, it crosses over into instances where you may have an off-plan meal. If your hunger levels are very high, the first thing you want to do is eat an off-plan meal as quick as you fucking can and not enjoy it for what it is, where it should be like a social setting, talking in between bites, putting the fucking fork down in between bites, enjoying the food rather than just having it disappear in 10 seconds. Trust me, I've been there, we've all done it, but I'm telling you from experience, slow down, enjoy the food. I know fucking damn well I'm gonna enjoy this. I try and take a bite and put the spoon down every single bite. I will then sit back, enjoy the podcast I'm watching, or if you're not watching anything at all, which is probably the better option, just taking the food in. Like, this shit tastes good, enjoy the taste, and then take another bite, same thing, 10, 15 chews per bite, per mouthful, enjoy the food. But after this meal, I will likely head for a massage or a tan and massage. It works in well because I get a quick little digestive walk in after eating. It helps me get my step count, but most importantly, yeah, it's like a quick little, it gets me moving after a meal rather than just laying on the couch, which again, is not good for digestion. Worst case scenario, if you have to, like for example, if I had to work or something, sitting upright will help food digest way better. But you want to be up and about for at least 5 to 10 minutes moving around, doing something, even if it's something around the house, just to help with the food moving through. Can help reduce the blood sugar spike. I'm going to enjoy this meal because it is probably my favorite meal of the day. And oh yes, checking in for meal 3. Tanning done. Can you tell? Hopefully I'm looking a little bit darker. Massage done, glorious. Fell asleep during both. I woke up in the tanning bed with drool hanging down my mouth. Well, not down my mouth, in my beard. And I was absolutely snoring because when I woke up, I was like, oh fuck, I'm in the tanning bed, like guaranteed snoring. Massage was elite, as per usual, glorious. But again, I was like, they lay you on your back afterwards to do like your shoulders, your head and stuff. Not for what you think it is. And I was like, you know when you're sort of like nodding off and shit like that? So I was doing that, but I was also like, I'm so conscious of when I'm sleeping that my mouth's open and I'm snoring. And I could hear myself just like straight up like, not ideal, boys. Unfortunately, my aura is telling me, and I'm not surprised, that as my body weight creeps up, I think my sleep's going to shit. So I'm going to get a sleep study done. I believe I'm going to be joining the CPAP party, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. Sleep is obviously a huge recovery tool, the biggest recovery tool. You can do whatever you want for recovery, but if you're not sleeping well, you're not recovering. Which is a huge tip for the fellas. Boys, I could not tell you the amount of clients I have that do not take their sleep seriously, and I try and tell them. A couple of them are probably watching this. If they are, they know who it is. But sleep is massive. Please do not underestimate how important sleep is. It is up there with nutrition. Obviously, training is the stimulus and training is what drives growth. Food and sleep is what's going to allow you to grow. If one or the other isn't in place, I'm sorry, you're going to be a skinny fucking bitch forever. Now, meal 3, going down. This is the usual post-workout meal. So we've got rice, chicken, papaya salad. And then there's also, I'm going to preface this by saying there is extra chicken in this and there is almonds going in this to replace the fats and the protein that was missing from the meal 1 because I fucked up my order and only got 1 egg and half the salmon portion. So I'm cooking this up now. Oh, sorry, there's also pineapple in this, which I am swapping for mango today. For no other reason other than I don't have pineapple and I do have mango. But this is also a good pointer for you guys in the off season when there is the flexibility for a little bit of variety. Now, I know in the last video I said that, you know, trying to diet flexibly is a fucking hassle. This isn't that. This is literally what I do for flexibility is I will have certain, so there's obviously certain fruits that are gonna have very similar macronutrition. Berries, for example, is where I'll get some variety. So some days I'll have blueberries, some days I'll have strawberries. Cherries don't quite fall into that category, but you got like blackberries, black currants, red currants, all that sort of jazz. Going to be very similar macronutrition wise. In a fat loss phase, you know, in a prep, would I recommend just swapping some for some? I personally wouldn't. Would it matter? Probably not, but I'm OCD. Things like pineapple, mango. Actually, now that I say that, probably only pineapple and mango is the two that I would interchange. Again, per 100 grams, very close in caloric value. Provides a little bit of variety. Again, I don't have pineapple. I'm not swapping this because I'm like, I want mango. It's literally, I just have mango and I don't have pineapple. So I'm swapping for the two. Fortunately, papaya actually contains papain or papain, which is similar to bromelain, that is like almost works as like a digestive enzyme. It helps aid in the digestion of proteins. So I'm gonna get the same benefit that I would get from the purpose of the pineapple in this meal anyway from the papaya in the papaya salad. I'm gonna cook up this meal. I've got, as I said, an extra 50 grams of chicken here, and I've got the almonds going in as well, which will provide a nice crunch, which is just replacing the fats from the other meals. It's no deeper than that. It's literally just, I needed some extra fats and protein because I missed it this morning. So topping up with that here, this is, again, much like the last video, there's shit going on here that I would never usually do on a usual day. The swaps of fruits I do pretty consistently. Same thing goes when I've got nut butters in my plan. So for example, in my last one, I've got almond butter. I will very often swap that between cashew, macadamia, almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, and I don't track it. I just swap the nut butters in. They're all gonna be very close in macronutrition. Things like peanut butter and pistachio are going to be a little bit higher in protein or carbs, depending on which one. So I don't just straight swap those. And peanut butter I try and avoid in general because it doesn't really contain the benefits that most of the other fat sources or nut butters have, being essential fatty acids in the form of poly and monounsaturated fats. But there's a look into how I have a little bit of flexibility. Same thing goes, if you've got like low starchy vegetables or non-starchy vegetables, you can pretty well swap between those and you're going to be fine. But this is the importance of nutritional literacy. If you do not have nutritional literacy, get your fucking game up because it is life-changing. You want to be eating chicken, broccoli, and rice all off-season? Fuck no. I want to be having mango. I want to be having pineapple. I want to be eating blueberries every day. Yeah, I probably do, but I also want some strawberries and I want some fucking blackberries. Longevity is the aim of the game. Not only longevity, but also just like variability in your diet is great for your gut. If you eat the same shit on repeat every day, to an extent, you're gonna become a little bit resistant to some food sources because you're just not digesting them. Your body doesn't know how. So variety is important after the basics. So once you learn how to eat, once you can stick to a plan, you have the ability to be a little bit flexible with it. And that doesn't mean fitting a fucking Snickers bar or a Reese's peanut butter cup in your food. That is shit. That is not food. Fine, some people every now and again, yes, you can fit it in, but it is not good for you, fellas. It is not good for you. And if you are serious about bodybuilding, and when I say all this, I'm talking to bodybuilders. If you're a lifestyle person or you're one of my lifestyle clients, a lot of this applies to you, but majority of it is just like a very intense version of what you should be taking some from and applying to your life so that you can have like a decent physique and not feel super restricted. But at the end of the day, if we're being honest, it's a cope. If you are at all serious about your health, that sort of food is not good. Ultra processed food is not good for you. There is no question about it. I'm fucking yapping though. I'm gonna get this meal sorted and I'm going to show you once it's done. Alrighty boys, we're good. That's a hefty fucking bowl. Can I show you without spilling this everywhere? There we go. Now, believe me when I tell you, I know it doesn't look, I mean, it looks good. It's just pineapple and chicken on top. I nearly forgot almonds. I'm gonna put almonds on this. Macros for this meal will be on the screen. But yeah, believe me when I tell you, it doesn't look the best. It just looks like chicken and pineapple, but som tam salad, papaya salad, Thai food, holy fucking glorious. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, after that whole yap before about swapping pineapple for mango that turned into like a fucking 5-minute yap, turns out it wasn't mango in the fridge, it was pineapple. So I'm having pineapple, 100 grams of pineapple. But yeah, quite literally, I have been, as I said in the last video, guys, I literally just rotate between couch, food, work, kitchen, repeat. Like I work, I eat. If it's a training day, I go to the gym.
if it's not a training day, I will be horizontal here on the couch because it's rest day and the main goal is rest, which is a whole nother yap that I'm not going to get into right now. But rest is paramount, guys. Take that shit seriously. I've got a little bit more work to do. And then on the theory of rest, I am going to be, again, horizontal on this couch, but I'm going to be putting on a movie for all my anime homies. Chainsaw Man, the movie. I'm going to be watching that. I wanted to go watch in the cinemas, and I was meant to go to the cinemas, but it's finished. It's not at the cinemas anymore. Luckily, I found it online. I don't know if that's piracy or not. I don't know if you're allowed to watch it online, but I found it. So I'll be watching that, and I'll be laying here doing nothing. I've got like 2,000 steps left to do. Probably honestly do like 5 minutes after I eat this meal, get a bit of movement in, as I said. And then it'll be a case of literally this. I'll be doing exactly this. I'm going to treat myself to a Pepsi Max, and I'm going to be a lazy motherfucker because I'm recovering. And you know what that means? It means I'm getting huge. But very excited for this meal. If you guys, one recommendation I have for you, if you are someone who doesn't live in Thailand, which is going to be 99% of you, 99.99% of you, try som tam salad. If you can get papaya, if you like spicy food. If you like spicy food, find som tam salad somewhere and try it. It's fucking glorious. Post-meal steps. So I'm going to do, depending on how long this yap is, 5 to 10 minutes on the treadmill. Been on here for a minute. Again, digestion, obviously just getting moving after a meal. I have the luxury of a condo with a treadmill, so I just stroll downstairs, jump on the treadmill, walk for 5 minutes. You may not have that luxury. No excuse, head out the door, go for a quick stroll. Anyway, touching on recovery. You need to recover just as hard as you train. Now, for all of you watching this, I would hope that you're training pretty hard. I understand some people do not, and that is also an issue, but we're touching on recovery. Recovery is your main tool for growth. If you want to be putting on muscle as fast as you possibly can be, you need to be recovering. There's no two ways about it. And you can do all the ice bath, the sauna, all this other extracurricular 1% shit. And if you do not have the main bang for your buck recovery tool in check, which is sleep, you're fucked. You're fucked. It doesn't matter how much shit you do, you will not be recovering to the best of your ability, which is going to affect muscle growth. It's going to affect progression. It's going to affect your cognitive ability. It's going to affect how you feel, your mood, your hunger signaling. It affects you in every way, shape or form. Doesn't matter if you're trying to grow, you're trying to lose fat. You're just trying to live as a better human, whatever it may be. Now this starts with as simple as your sleep routine. You want to, ideally, be sleeping in the same half an hour window and waking up in the same half an hour window, 30 minutes, every single day. Regardless if you're working, regardless if you're not working, circadian rhythm is uber, that's a terrible word, I don't know why I said that, super important, very fucking important. One of the most important is the routine in which you sleep, which comes down to a lot of things, but timing is number one. Another thing you absolutely do not want to be doing, specifically in bed, is doom scrolling on your fucking phone. We've all been there. I'm not gonna say I'm not, and now I'm very fucking, I'm very meticulous with it. I do not. My phone doesn't even enter my bedroom, let alone my bed. But if you think about it, right, your phone is a little dopamine hit every time you look at it, every single time you look at it. If you are laying in bed and smacking yourself with dopamine, every time you go and lay down to sleep, your brain works on rhythms. So if you lay down to sleep, and every time you go in your bed, you are scrolling and doom scrolling on your phone, if you want to go and lay down to sleep, your brain's going, oh yeah, here we go. We're getting a nice little dopamine hit in a second here. Good luck trying to fucking sleep. I promise you, it will not work. If you take one hard and fast rule from this, it is, for the love of God, do not doom scroll in your fucking bed. The same thing goes for work. I used to have a terrible habit of doing work in my bed, not like laying down or anything, but I just like sit in my bed. Everything you do with your routine, your environment, it literally just becomes habit, and it's like a subconscious thought in your mind. And your brain will associate certain patterns with certain things. You do not want to be associating patterns of brain activity in your bed, because it'll mean that getting to sleep and having high quality sleep, very, very difficult. My bedroom has become a complete sanctuary other than sleep and potentially some other extracurricular activities, but nothing other than that. I'm literally moving condos because my current office setup is in my room, and I haven't worked at it for like 6+ months because I don't want to associate working in my bedroom. I just don't want it. So I'm getting a new place with 2 bedrooms so I can have a separate office. But please, for the love of God, if you are serious, actually not even if you're serious about physique progression, just if you care about how you feel day to day, prioritize your fucking sleep. It is the easiest thing you can do, and we all put it off. Everyone, we've all been there. I know every single person watching this has doom scrolled in their bed before and ended up looking at their phone and it's like, fuck, it's 1 a.m. I should have been asleep 2 hours ago. And instead I've been brain rotting. But we've all been there. We've all been, as I said, brain rotting in our bed when we should have been asleep. It's so fucking easy to put off. And it's such a backwards thing because it's literally important for everything we do. Sleep is literally the tool of recovery. It's the only thing we have. And for some reason, we all just blow it to the wayside and don't care about it enough. But you should. Anyway, that is 8 minutes of me yapping on the treadmill. I'm gonna fucking put myself horizontal on the couch and I will not move until my next meal, so that when I wake up tomorrow, I am as fresh as I can possibly be. Banging, lad. Boys, we're in for meal number 4. Final savoury meal of the day, final meat and veg meal. We have 270 grams of sweet potato medley with Japanese yellow sweet potato and Japanese purple sweet potato, 10 grams almonds, 1 whole egg, 230 grams of raw weight chicken, 100 grams of pineapple, 50 grams of beetroot, and 50 grams of cherry tomatoes, lad. I shit you not, I've been horizontal on the couch over there ever since I last spoke to you. I had a shower and stuff. I didn't actually get to start watching a movie yet. I've been had a little bit of work that I could get done, so I got it done. But now I will be watching a movie for the next, well, I'm going to enjoy the movie while I eat this, and then I will make the next meal, probably like halfway through the movie, to be honest, like an hour and a half, 2 hours from now. And then you'll see the last meal. Now, if you're wondering, what the fuck has this guy got in his nose? No, I didn't get pierced here. This is, you know the breathe strips that you get here, right? That are fucking not sticky enough and fall off your nose. And then also, because I wear glasses, it's just in a suboptimal position. So I got like internal ones where you stick a little fucking, I don't know if you can see it, you stick a little thing in your nose and it helps expand the nose without having to have anything on the external. And I can breathe. So one, implementing that just simply so I can breathe. So hopefully this helps with some of my sleep issues as well, because I've definitely been snoring. But yeah. Meal number 4 going down. Yes, I use the same Tupperware all day. I use the pink Tupperware for savoury meals, and I use the clear Tupperware for sweet or cream of rice meals, as you will see for the last meal, because it is already cooked in the freezer waiting to be eaten. But yeah, meal 4 going down, boys. 5th and final meal is going down, boys. I'm going to show you the meal when I'm over on the couch, but I'm going to show you these bad boys, because I'm sure when you see the black crumble shit on top, you're going to wonder what it is. So this is like this is honestly another dessert meal. It's very similar to my pre-workout meal. It is cream of rice, whey protein, 60 grams, 100 grams cream of rice, 60 grams whey protein, 70 grams of cherries. I've got 45 grams of protein in the cream of rice, and I've got 15 grams on top as a whey paste, 30 grams of almond butter, and then we have these bad boys, which you're not going to be able to read because it's in Vietnamese. But it is coconut rice crackers. So the ingredients on this is 60% coconut. That's all it tells me percentage-wise. Glutinous rice flour, coconut sugar, black sesame, and then vanilla. Still reasonably whole food. Obviously, there's coconut sugar in there. I try and literally completely avoid anything that isn't like naturally occurring on the planet.
But it's literally just like, it comes in like little crackers, like rectangle crackers. I just crush it up and pour it on top, which I'll show you in a moment. But I figured I would show you that because I know you're going to be looking at the black stuff on top. Like, what the fuck is that? But it's basically just like a black sesame flavored rice cracker. That is the finished product. Yes. So this is where I've found myself. Can you see that? I don't want to lose everything. This is where I've found myself for the previous 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It's like 8 o'clock. Final meal going down. I try and get my final meal in 2 hours minimum before my last meal. Sorry, before my bedtime. Ideally 3 hours, but as my food gets a little bit higher, that is becoming increasingly difficult, as you can imagine. I'm also starting to use some slightly less voluminous things. I'm making my cream of rice less voluminous, less water to rice ratio. I'm starting to add in some higher carb density things like those little rice crackers that, you know, for 15 grams of food volume, it's like 22 grams of carbs. I've opted for cherries here instead of strawberries or blueberries. Just little things so that there's not quite so much stomach volume across the day, especially before bed. But literally, guys, I have sat here for 2 hours. Like, I've just been resting. That is what a rest day is. That is what it should be. Everything that needs to be done has been done. I got my steps done. I got my work ticked off. And for me, luckily, I'm in the situation where I can completely reset, focus on rest, and I'm already thinking about my session tomorrow. That's going to be it for the day. I'm fucking knackered. I'm currently, I'm getting to the point now where my whole day is spent cooking food, eating food, and then trying to fit in everything else I can in between. I am starting to notice on a training day, my last meal is getting pushed further and further back. That's the off season, boys. We're all in it together. Anyone else in the growth phase? Come along for the ride, boys. Hopefully I've provided some level of value here. If nothing else, while you're eating your meal. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and I've been entertaining to some extent. Yeah, this is equal favorite meal with pre-workout. A different flavor profile, less chocolatey, obviously. Same protein powder. I was using chocolate protein powder in the pre-workout meal. I've since finished that and I'm now using salted caramel. So this is salted caramel and obviously there's no like cacao or anything in this. But for some reason, the weird like almost umami flavor of the sesame goes really well with the sweet in this. Don't quote me on that because my taste buds may well and truly still be in prep mode, but we'll see. If this sticks in throughout the off season, we'll know pretty quickly if it's good. That is a full day of eating on a rest day, boys. You're likely going to see another full day of eating on a training day because, as I said last video, my food got increased, but I'm going to wait until my check-in after this week because it may potentially increase again, who knows. But the total calories and macros will be here. I have no idea. I'll have to look at my my plan. And yeah, I'm going to melt on the couch for the rest of the fucking night yet again. Rest day, fellas. How good?